Hello, and thank you for visiting Graphene Business Law. If you're watching this video on YouTube, please go ahead and click on the red subscribe button down below. Graphene Business Law helps primarily small business owners and entrepreneurs in Toronto and beyond. If you subscribe to our channel, you'll be able to keep up to date with our regular content that we post for these groups, small business owners and entrepreneurs, and of course your legal areas of interest. Today's video is positively spirited in the sense that it pertains to COVID restrictions being lifted even further within our province of Ontario, and actually the latest restriction lifting set to take place March 1st in just a few days, really. March 1st of 2022. If you're a small business owner with employees, this topic will be of particular importance to you. Of course, going back to the office or the restaurant or the bakery or the salon, whatever the case may be for your business, is full of hope and optimism and extremely important to your finances and your bottom line. But it's also important that you pay attention to changes that have happened within the human prism of going back to the office. And what I mean by that is changes that will affect your relationship with your employees. Now, perhaps the new restrictions mean your business can start operating at full capacity again, or at the very least at greater capacity. Maybe with the lifting of the new restrictions, it's the first time in months or even years that you're considering having your full team back to whatever setting it is. As I mentioned, it could be a store, it could be a restaurant, it could be a spa, any sort of small business that you operate. Okay? Now, just as things around us are changing, there are changes that are taking place and that you should look to be putting into place that govern your relationship with your employees, primarily, of course, through the form of your employment agreements. When considering future employees for hire, you really should be looking to incorporate certain clauses into these future employment contracts or employment agreements that might not have been in place before. What do I mean by this? Or that you might not have thought or might not have needed to have in place before. What do I mean? Some of these clauses could include work from home clauses. Prior to COVID, I think you'd have to be on the more progressive end of the curve or more ahead of your peers ahead of the curve to have featured work from home provisions for your employees. However, now in the COVID era and beyond, work from home clauses will not only be commonplace, I would argue that some employees will be looking for them in the contracts you offer them. They'll be looking for that flexibility to, of course, be put in writing and to be guarded through that same written document. Okay? Then there could be expense clauses. What employees expense has changed during COVID and may continue to change further in terms of what's expected that you'll cover for them as an employer, as their boss. There could be travel clauses. Before, it might not have been necessary for employees to travel at all, or it might have been required for your employee to travel all the time and go to the road shows and promote your business in whatever way you felt was best prior to COVID. However, now where there's reluctancy to even leave the home as an employee, travel clauses might be more important than ever that you put them in writing. I'll go through a few more examples here. A funny one that we saw come about in the last year or two, and I say funny, of course, nothing humorous about it, but funny in the sense that it is completely a COVID related clause or a COVID stemming clause, was a bring your own device clause, referred to as BYOD. If you're in a workplace where I mentioned the spas or the salons or the restaurants or the bakeries, where your employees will be more busy handling that product that you physically produce or providing that service. But if you own a small marketing business, if you own a small business where the bulk of what your employees are doing is working on a computer or working on a phone, some sort of device, that's the bulk of their job, bring your own device clauses are now mushrooming all over the place, all over employment agreements. This could be important for a lot of reasons. It's on you to consider those reasons and how they would benefit your business. At surface area, sanitation is one of those reasons. Expenses are also one of those reasons. If they're bringing their own device, then you're not, perhaps you're not responsible for purchasing that device and the upkeep of device. Maybe you are. These are exactly the things that should be put in writing and covered in these clauses. And of course, temporary layoff and termination clauses. These are just some of the clauses that you should look into putting into your employment agreements moving forward. You can tell I'm filming just a few days ahead of March because if you're in February in Toronto like I am, there's been a lot of snow recently, and I suspect you just saw the snow cleanup truck going by or maybe heard it in the video. Now, so far I mentioned bringing new employees on board. What about existing employees? Maybe you're not considering hiring anybody new anytime soon. Can you just slam a new contract on your current employee's desk and say, this is it from now on? Well, based on the way I worded that, it should lead you to guess that the answer is no, okay? When it comes to existing employees, there's a foundational contractual piece called consideration that should be in place. And in terms of that consideration for new employees, there would usually, generally speaking, have to be something different about your relations with these employees moving forward. For example, are they getting a raise so there's a little bit more money in it for them? Are they getting a promotion by way of job title? Something generally should be different for new terms to apply to an existing contract to an existing employee. And this is a step where it's strongly advised you reach out to a lawyer. This is something we at Graphene Business Law can help you out with and ensure that your individual contracts with employees are legally adherent and helping you and protecting you as an employer, while of course being fair to your employees. Now you'll notice that in the last few sentences I mentioned individual employee, and I can see the snow truck again, or I can hear it, so maybe you will be able to as well. When it comes to these employment contracts, it is not recommended that you put together some new terms on a document and just hand out that document to every new person that walks through the door, or every existing employee that you have that you'd like something to be a little bit different in their employment agreement. Employment agreements should be individualized, not only for the obvious reasons that people are earning different incomes, they might have different benefits you're providing them, they will certainly have different job titles, some might be on contracts with different terms, some might be filling in a position, some might be full-time or permanent. There are so many surface level reasons for why the employment contract should be individualized. However, there's reasons going deeper than that as well, which is why I'm saying reach out to a lawyer when you're considering updates to employment agreements per person, but also you'd like to have new agreements moving forward, something has come to really matter to your business or something has come to really matter to your industry via, for example, all the COVID related clauses I mentioned earlier. Okay. The focus of this video is employment agreements and clauses that you should consider including because of COVID, because of the times we're in, that are likely, although we're changing restrictions and we're changing details around how we live our life, the big picture of pandemic era is likely not going anywhere anytime soon. However, I also would like to end this video with a little bit of bonus tip, if you will, and that is, whereas employment agreements speak to individual employees in your workplace, I would urge you to consider policies, workplace policies you have in place that will affect everybody in your workplace. Again, whether that workplace is a salon or a restaurant or a spa or a marketing agency or an accounting firm, whatever that business is, policies, general policies are also important to have. And one COVID related policy, as the name will indicate when I say it, is COVID-19 policies. Let's say we go into another lockdown in a few weeks or months. What is your policy that every employee can expect from you and that you can expect from your employees to adhere to? For example, how do you and your team communicate should there be another lockdown? Put it in writing, make it official. How can they expect to hear from you as their boss, and how can you expect for them to respond to you as your employee? Remote working clauses within that policies. Again, I mentioned communication. Time off. Time off has been a huge issue facing all industries during COVID. Okay, and these are things to consider. Again, just to recap this video, the items mentioned to consider in this video were individual facing toward each of your employees, whether future hires or current employees, that you'd like your employment agreements with them to be a little bit different, a little more updated, but also group policies affecting the people, the individuals in your workplace. As I mentioned earlier, at Graphene Business Law, we are equipped and we have the know-how to help you with all of the items mentioned in this video. If you'd like further information, or if you'd like to discuss these items in person and how they pertain to your business, and by in person, by the way, of course, we have virtual options. I just mean if you'd like to take, the contents of this video one step further and speak to a lawyer, that can help. Graphene Business Law is here to help. We are meant to help you and your small business and your entrepreneurial endeavors progress further along. You can contact us anytime. You can visit our website, graphenebusinesslaw.ca, book a consultation, or you can reach out via email, info@graphenebusinesslaw.ca, and someone will respond to you, within a matter of hours. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found the information useful. And again, as exciting as the times of returning back are and what that could mean for your bottom line, it's also important that you understand as a business owner that to best protect and grow that bottom line, the steps along the way need to be legally adherent. And that includes steps with the people you've hired for the sole purpose of helping you and helping your business grow bigger and better, which of course led to the inspiration behind today's video, employment clauses and policies coming out of COVID-19. Thanks again for watching.